All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a special guest. As you guys know, I love bringing on other content creators to join me. So today we have Jesse from The Winning Agenda. How you doing, Jesse?
Good. How are you, Josh?
I'm doing just fine. I'm very happy that you're able to join me. I know you're busy with your new project with the Eric's Curiosa team, but
Yeah.
very happy to have you on here. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about Sealed. So upcoming in the near future, we do have a lot of tournaments going on. There's the Baltimore Courtesan Cup. There's Sorcery Con. You have your own little thing going on over in your part of the world. So I
We do.
thought I
We
thought
do.
it'd be a great time to talk a little bit about Sealed. I know there's a couple of videos out there already, but I think it'd be fun to take a look at some new packs, get your perspective on them. I'll chime in when I can, and give the viewers an opportunity to see what the strategies can be, what cards are strong, what you want to look for, and what can make you successful when building your deck at a sealed event.
For sure. And I was saying to Josh just before we started that putting together sealed pools, evaluating cards, there's always something new to learn from other people's perspectives. So it's always fun to do it with something somewhat different. And also, obviously, every sealed pool you open is slightly different. So it's not solved. Everyone's a new little puzzle to try. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. Plus, let's be honest, opening packs is always a blast, right?
That's right.
All right. Before we get started, any basic tips you want to throw out there for someone who's like brand new? I know one main thing is you want to make sure you have lots of minions or
Mm.
something like that. Anything from off the top of your head?
Yeah, definitely. So with sorcery, one of the really important things is to make sure you've got enough minions of high enough power to consistently win games. There aren't really enough ways and enough paths to victory in the alpha and beta set card pool without using minions. So you need to be able to reliably trade with your opponent's minions and clear them out, either using spells or your own minions to attack with. But then you need to have enough minions left over at the end of those exchanges to actually press through the 20 damage plus the damage Death's Door. So if you've got an element that looks really strong but only has a bunch of 1 power minions, that's probably not going to do it without at least support from another color. The other thing is just to keep in mind what avatars you have available. So most people who do beta sealed will let you play with Sorcerer or any of the beta elemental avatars, which makes water a lot better because Wave Shaper is just significantly better than Sorcerer with most of the water cards. But yeah, keeping that in mind and building around the avatars is another thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's interesting you mentioned that because I so far in the games I've played, it's only been sorcerer or what you open. So being available with the beta avatars is actually pretty cool. I wish I could actually give that one a go. All right, shall we dig into the cards?
Sure, let's do it. Let's look at pack one.
Let's see what we...
Yeah, so when you're sorting out a sealed pool as well, it can be good to sort into element first, just because that's kind of the easiest axis to sort against or along. And then while you're doing that, keep in mind what looks good and if anything looks particularly powerful. So Titanaiads, first water card. It's okay. It's not great.
It's all right. Sunken treasure.
Sunken treasure, also not great.
A little bit too much work to make that one worthwhile.
Waypoint Portal, also not great. So we're not off to a beefy start here. Angel Zeg is our first elite.
That one's not bad actually. Like that one has definitely helped me hang on to a couple games with that constant just slow life game. But yeah, here's a good one actually. Charge. Pedrojan Cavalry 3 power with charge is phenomenal,
strong.
right?
Yeah. So you'll often get into a pattern with sealed games and limited games in general where you're making plays and then your opponent has a chance to react. With charge, obviously, your opponent has no chance to react to that particular play, so it means you can take out 2 power minions, which can often put you up 1 card, and then they've still got to deal with your 3 power thing. So charge is great.
It's almost like a weird way of saying you have removal because you can just plop it in and deal with something, right?
Yep.
So we got the Wall of Air. I'll be honest, I don't use the Wall of Air too much myself, but
No. Ogre Goons is fine. Anything, going back to what I said at the start, anything with 3 power is pretty much worth considering, particularly if it's 3 cost.
100%.
Totally fine thing to play.
There's not a lot out there where your cost is lower than your power, than stuff with drawbacks like Phantasmal Shade and stuff like that.
Again, Plumed Pegasus. It's
Ogre Goons, but better. So yeah, that's definitely a good one.
100%. And with the new rules coming in today, like I don't want to get into that too much, but the movement for blocking and stuff like that, like I know this one isn't plus movement or whatever, but it just made me think of it with the Airborne.
That's true. A lot of the air cards are movement +1, and so that is really relevant as well.
This one's a good one. Obviously, ramp is important.
Ramp is important, though. I would say in limited there are going to be even more deserts running around than usual, so you do have to be very careful where you put your dryads. But ramp is great.
That's actually a very good call. It reminds me of the game I played with Angerworm, and I was able to grapple shot a Sacred Scarabs into his 2 dryads across the board. Those are good times. Deep Sea Mermaids.
Yeah.
Deep Sea Mermaids, yeah, again, not great. Power is really important. Just like raw numbers in that top right-hand corner is kind of what we want to see. Spectral Stalk is fine. It's good, does its thing. But it probably is worse in limited than in constructed. Even as a turn 1 play, just more decks are going to have 2-drops and lots of 2/2s running around. So,
And how do you feel about Void Walk for putting early pressure on?
it's okay. But again, you tend not to have the card quality to be able to sustain the pressure in the same way that you would in constructed. You know, the deck isn't as tuned, so it's easier for your opponent to come back with card quality in the longer game. If you're playing less powerful cards like Spectral Stalker to try and get a tempo advantage, it tends not to work out super well. But it can be okay if your deck's particularly well tuned for it.
Gotcha. Overpower, not bad. Again, if you're running Earth, that's a bonus.
It's okay, yeah.
Boil.
Boil's a great one in the water fire decks. So if you do get a really great water pool that you can supplement with fire, playing Wave Shaper with a couple of boils can be really good.
Yeah, and I mentioned a little bit about removal earlier. It's definitely something you're going to want to have against the water decks too.
Yes, yeah. But surprisingly best in that water deck out of anything, I reckon.
Yep. All right, Entangled Terrain, obviously good for a little bit of control and saving your butt a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of these cards like Entangled Terrain, Wall of Air, all those sorts of things that... Well, Entangled Terrain's much better than Wall of Air, but slowing down the game doesn't always work that well in a limited environment where your cards, in general, are... like, you have less access to card advantage, so you want your cards to actually be trading with theirs, or giving you some small incremental advantage over a 1-for-1, whereas Entangled Terrain is just really giving you tempo and time. And there are obviously some situations where tempo and time is exactly what you need, but there's going to be lots of situations where what you want is something to interact with their card.
Yeah, for sure. Stay simple, trade your cards, trade your minions, right?
Yep.
And we got a nice Geomancer. Not bad. It's obviously known for its ramp to 6 because of the optimal way to play it off the start, so...
But it is super restrictive in terms of number of Earth sites you have to play to make it work.
Very true, very true. Alright. Got ourselves a floodplain.
It's a good one.
Put that over here, I guess. Moonclan.
Moonclan Werewolf, you can pretty much read that as a blank 3 for 3, and it's fine. In limited.
Oh, this one's... Which I like this card, but then again, my brain's automatically thinking sealed, not limited, so...
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Whirling Blades is incredible. You can easily get a 3-for-1 with that. You know, if you think about it, often a board state in limited, you might have a 3 power. They've got a couple of 3 powers on the board, and then their avatar. If you can play Whirling Blades and take out both of their 3 powers and maybe even hit their avatar for 3 without losing your guy, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Any situation where you can get that strike in without taking the damage is huge.
Massive. Rest in peace. Not good.
Let's just dump that one down. Perfect. Fire Harpoons. I'll be first to let you know I have not ever run a water deck, so if you have opinions on these cards, please go ahead.
Yeah, Fire Harpoons is interesting because it's got just one too many restrictions on it. So it says deal 1 damage to target minion above or below an adjacent water site and pull it to the caster's location, draw a card. So the 2 restrictions are that the target has to be on a water site and you have to want to pull it to the caster's location specifically. You know, it can be okay, but the number of times where you have your own thing that can cast, firstly, so it has to be a spellcaster, it has to be adjacent to the thing you want to target, and the target has to be on a water site. That doesn't happen all that often in limited. It's really only if you want to pull something in on top of your avatar or kill a 1 power thing that's right next to your avatar, but that's not really worth including in your deck most of the time, even though it is a cantrip.
Sounds good. Oh, 5 for 5. I mean, you gotta love that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Amazon Warriors.
So, Earth and Air looking pretty good at the moment.
Yep. Oh, sorry, I'll let the camera show that for now.
But also there's two good minions in fire as well, which is cool. But yeah, Swan Maidens is okay.
And what are the chances you can run 3-color in limited, in sealed? Like,
Yeah, very much so.
is it tough? I've never really dove into that.
Yeah, it's not too bad because it depends on the Atlas size you're playing and everything. But I mean, generally we play with 25 spellbook, 12 Atlas, and in a 12 card Atlas, if you have like 5 of your main color, 4 of another, and then 3 of a splash, that can generally be okay.
Fair enough.
Sometimes, like if you're splashing just for a lightning bolt or something that you're planning to use at the very end of the game, you can even play that with 2 of that color side in your deck, and that's usually fine.
Disenchant, obviously, if you're going against Moras, it's super handy, especially if someone tries to run Thunderstorm on you, which can wreak havoc in limited, I've seen.
Cave Trolls is a very good one. Again, another 3 for 3 with some upside. So that, Plumed Pegasus, those sorts of cards are all really good.
Mm-hmm. Put that with the Amazon Warriors and all the other even trade for power. Nice foil. Look at that. Beautiful.
Beautiful looking foil.
Unfortunately, limited to demons and undead minions, right? So
Yeah, not super good.
not.
Although Mortality is actually playable, just because it hits villagers mainly, or foot soldiers, which are, in a significant number of limited games, you'll at least be able to kill a foot soldier. Plus, there are quite a lot of mortals in the set as well, across all colors.
And Border Militia is just pretty OP. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Border Militia's crazy. It's a reason why main decking Rain of Arrows is actually not such a bad thing.
Yep.
Purely because of Border Militia. Sleep is okay. Deserts make it a lot worse, unfortunately. But it is still decent removal.
Muck Ampleries, not much to say there. You got Burrow and Submerge, but 2/2, right?
Yeah, so it's immune to a lot of the regularly played removal, but most people aren't going to need to spend a removal spell on it anyway. A Drown or a Berry, they'll just kill it with other things. Bone Rabble, not great.
And of course, another Exorcism. Talked about that one. And Basic Light. Wow. Light, Scythe, Land. We got this.
But after 2 packs, like, that's not too bad at all. We've got a couple of really strong cards in air. Like, I would count the Plumed Pegasus and the Whirling Blades as really good, and Moonclan Werewolf is fine, as is Spectral Stalker. Got the 2 good minions in fire. The Petrosian Cavalry and the Ogre Goons are both, like, Petrosian Cavalry is great, Goons is okay. And then in Earth there, you've got quite a few good cards with the Amazon Warriors, the Boss Troll in particular. Yeah, so we build on that.
I'm surprised we haven't come across the Tufted Turtles yet. That's another strong fella.
Undertow's a good one. Happy with that as a possibility for water. Flanking Maneuver, also okay. Anything that's a cantrip is alright. The maneuverability spells that don't deal any damage are a little bit worse in limited. Even something like Blink is not as good as it is in Constructed, but it's okay. Nice Nath Gnome's not great. Mask of Mayhem, not great. It's a big risk. Sea Serpent is okay. In those, 4 for 4. 4 power is pretty big in limited. So if you are playing Wave Shaper and you have that easy access to flooding your opponent's sites, then Sea Serpent's a decent place to be. Yeah,
I played one game where someone wreaked havoc on me with pirate ships, and I didn't realize the threat they could make until they started flooding everything. And that was earlier when I was learning the game, but man, I'll never forget.
Swamp Buffalo, meh. That whole cycle, not great.
Unravel.
Again, pretty medium.
Teleport,
very good in Spark Mage. So it's a good little finisher in Spark Mage and can help you to reposition, because it does have that 2 threshold, so it's 2 damage if you use it with your Spark Mage.
Alright, Boil. We kind of covered that one. Some good removal. Oh, really short on fire.
Yeah, very short on fire cards.
Alright, Tangled Terrain. Beast of Burden.
There's a bit of the Fire Chaff, Beast of Burden. Again, it's okay. You've rarely used the ability, but 2 drops are okay.
Qualifier.
Yeah, not great. It can help slow down the game if you have some kind of slow game plan, but there aren't really a lot of really good slow game plans in Limited that let you come back with some kind of late game advantage, so Wall of Fire tends not to have a great home.
100%. And Blink, we just mentioned this one.
Yeah, it's still a great card. It's probably one of the, I mean, it's the most played card in Constructed in the Tournament of Champions by number of decks that play it, but not quite as good in Limited as in Constructed, but still a good card. Just maybe not the best card.
Oh, the wolves. The wolf pack.
Yeah, the Wolf Pack, not a limited card.
Well, be done with that then. All right. Let's see what the other half has for us.
Yeah, not a bad place to be at the halfway point. It's looking like air is pretty good. It's pretty good, but if we get, you know, some really... We've also got a base in fire and water, and I do like that double boil.
Yeah.
It is making me want to play that Wave Shaper with the double boil situation, but yeah, unfortunately the volume of cards in the other two colors is probably going to pull us away from that.
Yep. All right. So Mudflow
Yeah, not a great one.
does its thing.
Phantasmal Shade is good. You know, anything that's got power greater than its cost is good and worthwhile. And if you're, particularly in Spark Mage, where you can remove some enemy minions with your avatar with a bit more regularity, playing things like Phantasmal Shade is okay. But yeah, you've got to make sure you've got enough ways to get the enemy minions out of the way if you're going to play the Phantasmal Shade.
The curse.
Yeah, Curse not great, unfortunately.
And Wicked Witch.
Yeah, also not great. 4-cost things that don't have super high power and don't really help you win the game. It can be a powerful effect, but yeah, don't love it. Sage Crabs, not good.
I wasn't even going to say it.
Rimland Nomads is fine. Yeah, again, that movement +1. It can't get pinged down by deserts. So if your opponent tries to shifting sands that they won't be able to, tends not to come up that much, but movement +1 is better than it seems.
Yeah.
It means they can get through and attack to places where your opponent might not be able to attack them back on their turn. Spin attack, worthwhile.
Yeah, I was gonna say with your eye on the boils and the ogre goons and the cavalry with spin attack, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think the first spin attack's really good, and beyond that, they can become bad. Because you do need to have a minion to go with them. Yeah, Wicker Mannequin, no good. Ice Lance, a very good one to have in those water decks. If you do end up playing water, you do want to have access to that effect when your opponent's at death's door, so very cool. Good to have.
Wall of Fire.
I think the Ice Lance has gone onto air there. It looks a bit airy, and it is a bit of an air effect. Blink, yeah, another Blink, cool. Always happy with that. And a Grapple Shot. Those two do go together in packs a lot, so not surprised there.
My favorite card, Grapple Shot, for sure. Hey, there's the turtles.
There's the turtles. Well, you know, water's actually looking pretty decent here, so yeah, the turtles go down.
It's making a bit of a comeback. Kelpies.
And Kelpies, again, another 3 for 3 with upside. Always happy to see that. So a pretty strong water pack there with Ice Lance, Turtles, and Kelpies. Windsylph, no good. Spinax Berserker, yeah, it's an unfortunate one. 4 cost for only 3 power, and its ability doesn't really allow you to do that much. Like, the chance that you're going to get to take out 2 things with it, doesn't really make up for the fact that it's got this drawback of having to attack stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Sling Pixies. Yeah, I mean, I like the Pixies. It can do some really good things.
It's great when you got the big minions coming at you, right?
Yeah, totally. You do just have to be so careful of those deserts with all these 1-power things.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And the dome.
Not bad, unique. Not going to make the deck, probably, but nice to have in the collection.
Yep. Again, going back to the deserts, the 1-powers keep showing up, but like you said, if you can protect it, the extra ramp's pretty nice. Mermaids.
Deep sea mermaids. Yeah.
Extinguish. So, yeah. Specifically killing fire minions and fire auras tends not to be something you can include in your deck without knowing what your opponent's playing.
Oh, Scorpions.
Scorpions are great.
Yep. Not bad at all.
One of the best 2-power, 2-cost minions, I reckon. And Common Sense, excellent. Always happy to have that.
Harpoons.
is that another
Cavalry back there, I see.
Sure is.
Not bad.
Looking towards that playset.
And another Ogre Goons. Well, that's good. Fire's looking like it's got a fair amount of beef now. Miracle Workers. Miracle Workers is an interesting one. Like, if you are in a situation where your board state is that you have like a 3 power, you can trade for their 3 power, and then Miracle Workers can get it back. That's a good play. But it's only okay. Like, you'd rather just have another 3 power in your deck at that point, and you have to have the Miracle Workers on that turn, and the advantage you get is just having another 1 power thing on the board, which isn't great. So I tend not to love Miracle Workers, but yeah, some people like it.
All right. Cloud Spirit.
Cloud Spirit's a good one. There's that movement +2 now. Once you start getting to movement +2 and airborne, it can pretty much go anywhere on the board at that point.
Yeah, and I'm going back to the new rules, but as a defender, that's going to be super good as a chunk blocker.
Definitely. It does make your opponent's attacks a lot harder for them to make efficient.
All right. Let's see what's behind the last door. The Monster Hunter.
Yeah, still not a great one, unfortunately. Peregrine Apparition, very expensive for what it does, sadly. Lots of movement. Again, it can get pretty much anywhere, but 3 for 1 tends to be a bit rough. Sea Raid is cool. Yeah, that's a 3 for 3 with upside.
Hey.
Hey, Onyx Core. Well, I mean, you know, that's a worthwhile draft already, or sealed, regardless of how you go.
I'll take it. Not bad. So yeah, I was gonna ask you. I had this question in my head. When you see the cores, does that make it automatically you're gonna try and go for that element, or how much support do you have to have behind it to make you use that core right away?
Yeah, I don't know. The core is really just ramp as well, so it depends if you think your deck can make use of ramp. Like, there are lots of limited decks where you don't actually really want to ramp. Or rather, you'd rather have another card than a card that just ramps you, right? Like, if you're not ramping into anything in particular, then sometimes having the ramp card in your deck can actually be not a great draw. But if you've got access to enough cards, like if you're playing Sorcerer, and really you just want to get to 5 mana as soon as possible so you can start tapping your Sorcerer to draw an extra card every turn, and your curve's pretty low, then Onyx Core can be amazing, because it can be, you know, you replace itself when you get to draw another spell earlier, plus you're making all your spells earlier, making all your plays earlier. So yeah, it can be really good in the right Sorcerer build for sure.
It's a good perspective on it, because as much as I played this game a lot, like, I don't think like you, I guess, is what I'm saying. So that's a good, like, such a good way to talk about it, and makes a lot of sense.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's just my perspective. You know, people might have different things they think cores can do, but the other thing to say about it is you're not restricted by the color either. So you could absolutely, if you're playing an air water deck, you could just play the Onyx Core, and it's going to be functionally really just as good most of the time.
Gotcha.
As in an Earth deck.
All right, we got the Creepy Demon.
Yep. Blink.
Another blink.
Blink number 3.
Got some movement. The Wall of Ice.
Ooh, Grapple Shot.
Coil Watchtower.
Not bad.
Not bad, not bad.
Actually worth playing. Like, there's quite a lot of stealth at, you know, Dead of Night Demon and other things at lower rarities, and just getting rid of stealth can be quite good. Even stopping your opponent fading, because fade's a good finisher in limited.
Fade, and if they get the good old infiltrate, right? Like, it's it becomes a problem.
It does. Midnight Rogue.
Another stealth we're just talking about.
Yep. Land Surveyor. Bit less good in limited than in constructed. Plume Pegasus, though, that's great. Oh, I think air is getting played for sure here. There's card quantity and quality. Cloud Spirit.
And good old Summer River.
Yeah, so if I was looking at constructing a deck from this, I would probably start with the air cards, because we've opened a number of blinks, a number of grapple shots, a number of plumed Pegasus, and that whirling blades, which is a bit of a bomb. So we know that we've got some things hitting all categories, like good minions, good mobility, and good removal spells. And then I think it's just a matter of looking at what the other elements bring that might complement that. So Earth we know has the Amazon Warriors, the Boss Troll. Probably not a lot else though. Common Sense to help us find answers, but it doesn't really have that many high power minions. So I think Earth might be our weakest color.
I think Air Fire. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the thing that we're missing in Fire is we haven't got any Firebolts, Heat Rays, not really any removal.
Right. Yeah.
So Fire is bringing us some more 3-power things, which is great, and a Spin Attack, which is good. But with already having 2 grapple shots, I'm not even sure Spin Attack would make it. So it's really whether we want the charge from the cavalries, which is amazing, and the things like the goons to support them, or do we want to look at Water, which has potentially more removal in just the Ice Lance, as also a way to finish the game at Death's Door. Like, we don't have a Lightning Bolt. We do have the grapple shots though.
Yeah.
The problem with Water is that there's not really a lot of the generically good water stuff here. Like, we've got a couple of Sea Serpents and stuff which are not great, unless we're flooding, unless we're specifically playing Wave Shaper, but I don't think we want to play Wave Shaper with this much air stuff. So really it's just the Tufted Turtles, the Coral Reef Kelpie are generically good, and the Ice Lance. Having a look through the rest of the water stuff there, like Soul Maiden's okay, but they're not a reason to play water. Sea Raider's generically good. So you could play like Ice Lance, Tufted Turtles, Coral Reef Kelpie, Sea Raider. But again, I'm not sure that's enough to make me want to play that color. I think, yeah, the weakness that this pool has in general is just a lack of burn and targeted removal.
Yeah, it would definitely benefit from the, like you said, the Lightning Bolts and anything to help late game.
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt, Firebolt, Heat Ray, all those sorts of things. So yeah, I think you could probably I would probably play Sorcerer over Spark Mage, just because you've got so many good cards and you do have a decent number of good cards, so you're happy to just keep drawing through stuff. And you could either pair it pretty well with the Fire, just to have lots more decently chunky minions to use with your grapple shots and your blinks and stuff, and to finish the game, or pair with Water to just get access to that Ice Lance and a few other decent minions there as well. Either way would be pretty good.
Sounds good to me. All right, man. Well, I know you have somewhere to be, so I really do thank you for your time.
Yeah, no worries.
Hope everyone enjoyed watching, and see you next time.
See you next time, and good luck in Baltimore.
Thank you, sir. All right, big thanks again to Jesse for making time for me. I know you got a busy schedule, so I really do appreciate it, and I think the viewers will too. A lot of good information shared in this video, some good takeaways and some good tips for you to be ready to go in your next sealed event, and I hope you guys score some W's. But I do have a challenge for you. I'm going to link this card pool in a curious deck list and see what you can come up with, and maybe play a game against me on the channel so we can record it and showcase what you've learned. If you've done so, please leave a comment below with your deck list and we'll be in touch.